Whether we realize it or not, life has a unique way of preparing us for greatness. I didn't know it at the time, but my speaking career actually began more than 30 years ago in Indianapolis, Indiana, while standing in a gravel driveway with my father. A conversation between a fresh college grad and an overwhelmingly proud dad turned into my study of what makes the great ones great. I was leaving home for my first real job, a newspaper reporter gig, 1,100 miles away in San Antonio, Texas, when my father delivered advice that still shapes my life today.
Hi, Don. How you doing?
He said, "Son, you're going to report on a lot of events and meet and interview a lot of different people, but always be sure to ask them one question that will benefit you. Try to learn something from them that will be valuable to you." So I began my career, and ultimately the question that moved my compass was this: if you could share one habit, one thing you've done consistently that allowed you to separate yourself from your competitors, what would it be? 2,500 of the greatest winners and leaders of our lifetime answered that question for me.
Don, Dave Sims with Coach K. How you doing?
I'm great, Dave. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And it changed my perspective.
What most impacted you out of West Point this last week?
Yeah, well, we thought it would be what we call a feeling day.
It helped me realize that greatness is available to all of us if we're willing to do the common things uncommonly well.
Thank you, Don. I'm doing great. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for keeping the dream alive. Thanks for spreading the message of hope.
You see, their answers didn't include some completely hidden secret,
Don, how are you?
but they did include an uncommon focus on fundamental principles that most of us ignore. And by studying every answer out of the mouth of champions, a book on the 16 most consistent characteristics of greatness came to life. It became one of my best-selling books. It also established the framework for 4 of my acclaimed keynote speeches, loaded with lessons from conversations with great winners like Coach John Wooden, NFL legend Walter Payton, and the great Michael Jordan.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, me being the competitor I am, I look each and every day for those type of driving forces.
What's today's driving force?
I love being able to step on a stage and teach audiences what made these sports and business icons so great. But I'm a true believer that we make those lessons real through storytelling that is emotional, inspiring, and unforgettable. Like the story of NFL running back Warwick Dunn, who trusted me to write his book about overcoming adversity as a star teenage athlete, whose police officer mother was shot and killed, leaving him with a dilemma of continuing to pursue football success or giving up altogether. And she didn't have a whole lot of formal education, but my mother had an unbelievable amount of wisdom. And that wisdom was what she gave us as her children every day. And of all the things she used to say to us, Warwick said, the one she came back to most regularly was this: it doesn't matter if you're white or you're black. It doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor. It doesn't matter if you're born on this side of the tracks or raised on that side. There is one thing we are all promised, and that is that there will be a day when something's going to happen that will change the way you wake up the next morning. There will be a day when some kind of adversity is going to strike you that will reshape the rest of your life. And in that moment, you will get 2 choices. You can be bitter, or you can be better. And as my child, I ask you to always choose better. Warwick Dunn became, for me, a living, breathing example of using adversity as fuel. The inner fire that is so personal to each one of us has the potential to spark greatness. For Warwick Dunn, the inner fire sparked a better decision that turned into setting football records at Florida State University, being drafted in the first round by the Tampa Bay Bucks, rushing for 10,000 yards in his NFL career, and today he is a part owner of the NFL's Atlanta Falcons. He refused to let personal tragedy and adversity tackle his future. We all have circumstances that affect us. What is truly impacting you right now? Is it the economy? Is it a family challenge? Is it your health? How do you let those moments shape you? Are you choosing bitter or are you choosing better? As I said, my speaking career on high performance habits, leadership, and what makes the great ones great began long before I realized it, back in that gravel driveway conversation with my father. 2,500 interviews later, my study of greatness has 4 pillars: how the great ones think, how they prepare, how they work, and how they live. And now I want to take your team on the journey with me, unlocking lessons in adversity, determination, goal setting, prioritization, accountability, teamwork, integrity, fearlessness, and many more, each one distilled from the 16 characteristics of greatness. I want them to feel the lessons and know how best to use and apply them as they pursue their own greatness. To not only just learn the lessons from champions, but to live them, and then to go out and be great every day.